Welcome to Local Point, your life, your stories, with your host, David Gale.
Hello everyone and welcome to Local Point. I'm your host David Gale. Today we welcome Jeff Winterton and Doris Salazar to discuss the Breaker Triathlon and the Split Mountain Volleyball Tournament. All things Uintah Recreation District stuff. This is fun for me because usually the person sitting across from me I don't know, and the stuff we talk about I don't know. But I happen to know about both of these things, and I know both of you. So let's start, Jeff, with you and get right to the Breaker Triathlon. What is it? When's it happening?
All right, the Breaker Triathlon is going to be April 16th. We do it at the community center. What it is it's a triathlon. It's a sprint triathlon, so it's a shorter version.
Yeah.
We do it so that people have the opportunity to be able to go on to practice for the bigger triathlons, and they can practice their transition times and swim in the pool. A little bit less intimidating than swimming in a dirty water lake or something like that where they can't see. So it's April 16th, and it's $35 to sign up.
And that gets you into the triathlon, gets you a number.
Yep.
And you guys doing t-shirts this year?
Yes, we will be doing t-shirts again.
Okay, always great t-shirts, my favorite. I have to say, the very first triathlon I ever did was this exact triathlon, and it's very unintimidating. In fact, how much preparation would you say you'd want to put into? Some, at least,
I would
right?
say some. You might want to go and run 3 miles beforehand. You might want to go and bike maybe 8 miles beforehand. But you can feasibly, and we have had a lot of people do this where they don't do much preparation at all, and they come and do it without even having ran or biked, and they come and do it, and they can usually do it in an hour or somewhere around there.
They're very sore for the next 4 days.
Yes, sometimes they cramp up. So training is recommended, but not necessary.
Now, I know that a lot of people, their biggest fear of triathlons is the swimming portion.
Definitely.
So how much swimming is actually occurring, and what can they expect?
So it's 250 yards, which is 5 laps in the pool. So if you can go and swim 5 laps in the pool, then you're good to go. And even if you can't, then you can always pull yourself along the lane lines or whatever you can do. You can backstroke, whatever.
Yeah, that's my first time. I was like, I've got this. I've done some training. I got in. I made it like 2.5 laps, and then I flipped over my back and said, that's it. I'm done.
But you're not the first.
Yeah, totally doable. And it's done in a way that obviously a pool would be a difficult place to send 100 people all at once.
It is. When we were planning it out, we weren't sure whether we wanted to do heats and to send massive people all at once and do, kind of a shotgun start. But instead, what we found would be the best was to do a snake-style swim. So how we work it is that we put one person in the water every 30 seconds. They're given their start time so that we know their end time, so we have all their transition times. But that's how we work it. Put someone in the water every 30 seconds, and they do a snake-style swim where they'll swim down, swim under the lane line, then swim down and back under the lane line, down and back under the lane line until they've swam the whole pool.
I've found it to be really encouraging for me because you don't have anybody that you're competing against except for yourself.
Right.
And during the entire course, meaning the swim as well as the bike and the run, you'll find that you'll pass people. You'll also get passed by people. But, when you get passed, you're like, oh, man, that person's pretty good. But then you feel good when suddenly you've passed somebody. It's like, yay, I'm beating somebody. It was really fun for me. So, again, you swim the 5 lengths or 5 laps, get out of the pool, you immediately go jump on your bike, and where do you go?
Yep, you head out to the patio where we have all of your bikes stationed, and you're going to head down Vernal Avenue. So you'll head down Vernal Avenue all the way to, you'll keep going. And sometimes we'll change the route a little bit here and there, depending on if there's road construction or maybe a dead animal or something like that.
Okay, as happens.
We'll change the route up a little bit maybe each time, but typically we go down to 4,000 South. You'll turn on to 4,000 South from Vernal Avenue.
Which is kind of the peak of the climb right there. There's a little hill right there.
That's right, yep.
After that, if you make it past that, then you can feel good about yourself.
Yeah, and then it's kind of a roller coaster downhill, down on 5th West.
And you come all the way back to
5th South, and back to the community center.
And then you
there.
jump off your bike.
So it's 8 miles.
Okay.
Not too bad. Half of it's kind of uphill, half of it's down.
Yes.
Then you're going to do a 3-mile run just around the block of the community center.
And then the best part is after you get done with that run and your legs are all jelly, what happens at the very end?
Then you get donuts.
Yes.
And
Suddenly
or bananas and fruits.
so worth it. I just donuts. I did a triathlon. All right, so again, it's April 16th, $35. Can we register online?
Yeah, I believe you should be able to register online, yes.
Go to the rec center website.
Yep, you can go to the website, or you can just come into the front desk. You can also, if that sounds a little bit daunting, you can also sign up as a team, and that's $50.
That's nice. So that you can do the swim, and somebody else can do the bike, and somebody else can do the run.
Yep.
Yeah, take it one bite at a time. You know, this is, if you haven't been able to keep with your New Year's resolutions, here would be a great one to say, I'm going to do a triathlon. Go ahead and do it. You know, we're out of time for your segment, but you stay with us. We'll come right back. We'll talk to Doris about split mountain volleyball right after this break.
On the current episode of Wild Air, Blake Finn takes us along on its archery deer hunt. Then we follow the DWR as they release some turkeys in the Brook Cliffs. All of this on the latest episode of Wild Air.
Welcome back to Local Point. Before the break, we were talking about the Breaker Triathlon, and now we move over to Split Mountain Volleyball Tournament with Doris Salazar, our resident volleyball expert, all things volleyball. You know, I've seen, I get to play volleyball sometimes. Every once in a while the rec center lets the co-eds play, but we've got a really strong kind of grassroots group of women in the Uintah Basin who play volleyball. So tell me a little bit about what Split Mountain is and how those ladies, you know, fit into this.
Well, the beginning of Split Mountain is when we were younger, we would go to Moab and play, and that was where all the women went to go play in a Weekend Warriors tournament. We just had so much fun. And as Moab grew, they couldn't do that venue anymore.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, let's just bring it to Vernal.
Oh, yeah?
And so the referees and the names and everything got transferred over to us, and we've been doing it. This is our 5th year.
Okay. 5th year of doing Split Mountain. I swear I thought it was longer. It's been around longer than that. Maybe just because it's so popular, because you see T-shirts all over the place. So it's a tournament that happens all in a weekend. It's a lot of volleyball that's being played. So who gets to be a part of it? How do they register? That kind of thing.
We have levels of all play, from collegiate players clear down to just the beginners. We have a spot for everybody. They register at uintahrecreation.org, where they can come in, and it's $300, and they're guaranteed 8 games.
Okay.
It's a Weekend Warrior. They start at 6 o'clock on Friday, and they can play clear till midnight, and then they have to get back up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they play all day for an hour lunch break, and it usually ends about 9 o'clock that night on Saturday.
Wow. And no matter what, you get at least 8 games of playing in.
Correct.
But then those that make it through the bracket, they might end up playing a lot more than that, I assume.
We play pool play for the first Friday and Saturday morning, and then after that we take their seeding and we seed them so that when they start in the tournament, they're playing teams that are in their level of play.
Oh, that's good.
And then from there we do a tournament, so they get to play with their own level, and it's really fun.
Yeah, well, I bet. Well, I mean, you've got teams coming from all over the place. This isn't just in the Uintah Basin anymore. I mean, it's happening here, but where are some of the teams coming from?
Well, we've been registering for 4 days now, and we have teams from Cedar City, Layton, Eagle Mountain, Oakley, Payson, Fort Duchesne, Vernal, Roosevelt, and those are just in the last 4 days.
Wow. How do the girls locally, girls I say, the women locally, compete against some of these out-of-towners?
You know what? We are really nick and tuck every year. I mean, it's just by points who wins. And the fun thing about it is there usually is not a lady in Uintah Basin that is not on a team.
Yeah.
And that's from Fort Duchesne to Roosevelt, Vernal, Jensen, Rangeley. I mean, they come from everywhere.
How many teams do you have a cap of the number of teams?
Yeah, the school district has been awesome. They give us every available gym to use, and they've been very gracious that way. And we cap off at 42 teams.
Wow. Do you fill up all of those teams?
We turn teams away.
Oh, wow.
So we need more facilities. Last year we gave over 365 participants T-shirts.
Well, I didn't realize it was that big of a thing. Are you considering growing this at all?
We're capped off until we get more gym space.
More facilities.
The high school last year let us use their new annex building, or I don't know what they call it.
Little sports complex.
Sports complex,
Sure.
and we got to get 8 more teams in because of that.
Okay.
But we are capped off.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that brings in an awful lot of revenue, residual revenue to businesses around here with all these people coming into town. Is there any way that businesses can help participate in sponsorship or things like that?
Actually, yes. The T-shirts get pretty pricey, and so I can show you this. If they donate $100 to our T-shirt, then we can put their logo on the back of the T-shirt.
Okay.
And so that helps offset the price of the T-shirts. And the ladies really like these T-shirts because they fit so great.
Yeah. Well, you even told me a story of seeing one in a very remote location.
Yes, 2 years ago, our family had the opportunity to go to London, and as we were coming out of the subway and getting on the airplane, this shirt was on a lady in London in the airport, and that was so awesome to see that, hey, that's my shirt.
What, was she an American?
I don't know. I just saw the shirt.
You focused on the shirt and everything. That's great.
And so that was awesome. So if there are any businesses that want to have their logo, contact us and we will get their logo, and for that $100, there's 365 shirts that people are wearing.
That are going to go all over to London, maybe even. All right, well, we're out of time. Thank you once again. So you can go online to the Uintah County Recreation website to register for the Breaker Triathlon or for the Split Mountain Volleyball Tournament. It's a good time to make some resolutions. Thanks for watching Local Point. Stay tuned for this week's community calendar.
On the current episode of Wild Air, Blake Finn takes us along on its archery deer hunt. Then we follow the DWR as they release some turkeys in the Book Cliffs. All of this on the latest episode of Wild Air.
Welcome to this week's community calendar, brought to you by the good people of the Vernal Area Chamber of Commerce, who aren't tearing stuff down. No, they're building commerce one member at a time. Let's get right to this weekend's schedule. Now you're going to see here on the graphic some stuff that's going to be happening on this graphic here. There it is. I want to just jump right to Saturday because there's something really important that's happening on Saturday that's also happening on Friday. We'll get to the Lane Frost Challenge in a second, but first I got to tell you about Charlie's Aunt. If you haven't known, and if you haven't been watching, Charlie's Aunt's really good. And I've been saying Charlie's Aunt a lot on Community Calendar. Here's the important thing. Have you looked on Facebook under Great Things You in a Basin? Have you seen what people are saying about Charlie's Aunt? You know what they're saying? They're saying it's awesome, and you should see it. Do you happen to see the Vernal Express this week? You see the front page of the Vernal Express. You know what it was? It was a picture of me making a really stupid face like this. It was something like that. And it was talking about Charlie's Aunt. It's a fantastic show. You got 2 days to see it, Friday and Saturday, and then it's gone forever. You'll never be able to see me dressed up as an old lady in a dress. Well, except on the weekends. Okay, so we're going to get back to that in a second. Friday, right? Friday, January 20th. It's the Burbot Bash. It's finally here, the Burbot Bash. We've been talking about it at Flaming Gorge. You can finally bash those burbot. It's like there's like no limit, right? You can catch them over and over again. They just catch those burbots, and there's like a $25,000 prize or something. It's ridiculous. You can register at events.regtix, that's regtix.com/Flaming Gorge. Is that up there? No. Well, rewind if you need to hear that again. go catch some burbot. Also on Friday, the Lane Frost Challenge. I think that's what we actually have up here. Yes, the Lane Frost Challenge. It's at Western Park Arena. Starts at 7 p.m. This is Utah's premier bull riding event. Just dress warm. Apparently the bulls don't care that it's only 10 degrees outside. Saturday, January 21st. Hey, it's your last chance to see Charlie's Aunt. Vernal Theater Live. That's downtown in Vernal, 7 p.m. It's so funny. It's so funny. Everybody says, I didn't know how funny it was going to be. And I was like, I tried to tell you on a community calendar. Go see it. Now taking a look into next week, January 23rd through the 28th. Starting on Tuesday, January 24th, it's a Facebook workshop. This is the UBATC campus in Roosevelt, January 24th, 25th, and 27th. 3 days of learning how to use Facebook, I guess. For more information, you can call 722-6900. Hopefully you have at least this much ability to use Facebook, because most likely you're watching this right now on Facebook. Wednesday, January 25th now. Documentary film night at the Uintah County Library. This is showing Citizen 4. This documentary won Best Documentary in the Academy Awards. It won an Oscar, right? However, I do have to warn you, it is rated R. Because it's a documentary, a lot of stuff happens that's just real life that they go, oh, no kids for this one. It's about Edward Snowden. You know who, Kobe, you know who Edward Snowden is, right? He does. He's nodding his head. You've probably heard a lot about him. Go see it if you want to. Thursday, January 26th now, VTV6 coverage of high school basketball. This is Duchesne at Altamont. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. and you can watch it online at vtvchannel6.com or cable channel 6 or 706. What's the difference between 6 and 706? SD, HD. Oh, you watch HD at 706? Full high definition. Friday, January 27th, we got more high school basketball from VTV6. This is Park City at Union. Girls game starts at 5:15, boys at 7 p.m. Also on Friday, there's a regional swim meet at the Uintah Rec Center, and VTV will be broadcasting it as well. Have you guys ever done swimming before?
Last year.
Last year was your first year? Yep. So now you're good at it. They won't drop the cameras in the pool this time. This is going to be a qualifying event for state, taking place Friday and Saturday. You can watch it, of course, all of VTV's places where you watch stuff. Let's get into our weekend weather now. Here comes the graphic. We got weekend lows averaging around 20 degrees. We're expecting some snow coming up this weekend on Saturday. Your highs are going to be in those freezing ranges. Of course, when the cloud cover comes in, it usually gives us a little bit of a warming trend. Friday being a little colder there, 26 degrees being your high. Into next week now. Week lows averaging in the low teens. We're dropping off a bit, especially towards the end of the week there. Precipitation, possibility of snow basically is happening from Saturday through Monday, and then as we head into the next week, temperatures drop, a little more sun. It's always so, it's deceiving, right? Because the sun comes out and maybe you'll get a little bit of that solar heat if you happen to be out in it, but the temperature drops terribly. Ooh, just bites right through your skin and stuff. I just totally hit the microphone, didn't I? I apologize. It probably sounded terrible to you. Hey, this has been fun. I've had a good time today. You had a good time? Kobe's had a good time. Kobe's the man behind the curtain over there, who someday we'll just, come here, Kobe, really quick. This is Kobe. We got to introduce, come on, there's Kobe. Look, there he is. He's a good man. He helps keep things running here. I'm going to give him a shout out. Give us a like for Kobe. Those are the events we have for this week's community calendar. If you have an event coming up, let us know. 435-781-1902. Leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Like VTV6 on Facebook. We'll see you here next time. Oh, we won't be here next week. Oh, what are you going to do? You're not going to know what to do because we're not going to be here next week. And be like, oh, where are all the events? I don't know. I'll try to just post some stuff on Facebook for you. All right? Sweet. Take it easy.